They were negligent.
Let me see what you have. Let me see that. All right, dear Jeffrey L. and Barbara Gates, thank you for your 1040 for the above tax period. However, while reviewing your return, we found discrepancy. Our records indicate non-employee compensation of $1,975 received by Jeffrey Gates. That's the 1099. This was not reported on your 1040. We are enclosing a copy of our records that shows the additional income reported. Okay, and that's the 1099. That's what they have attached, looks like. Please complete and submit a newly signed return showing this additional income within 20 days of this notice. If we do not receive a reply, we will continue the collection process. Well, you know, when they say newly signed return, usually they mean an amendment. That's what
we
they
sent
mean.
them a letter, and we called them, and they told us that they would only accept a new return.
Well, that's what an amendment is, in a sense. It's a new return. It's still signed by you.
We specifically asked, would you accept an amendment? And they said no.
All right. Now, you counter-complained also. You're suing the accounting firm for how much?
Well,
we want the forgiveness of the $500 because I didn't know how you guys did that in the claim.
Okay.
Right.
And then we wanted
620.
Right.
For what?
$620 was to have our corporate tax returns. We have to have everything looked at. I don't have. I need the.
Where's the letter?
I think I passed everything up to him.
Did she hand you a letter that I typed out, the addendum? It explained. I thought I explained it all.
Counterclaim. Okay, here it is. Reasons for counterclaim. After having the taxes redone by one person, now reviewed by another CPA, there were 3 errors that were made. Okay, we paid our bill less than $500 for the 2001 corporation taxes. We talked about that. We are asking the court to deny the $500 claim and refund our personal tax fee of $250, pay additional $250 for the redone personal taxes, and $220 for the new CPA company's review and any additional cost of the court that we don't know about. So you want $200. You paid another CPA. It looks like $470?
No. The other CPA is $110 per hour to review.
Right.
And he's got roughly 2 hours into it.
That's $220.
And I have
Right.
a copy of our signed agreement that we agreed to
Okay,
pay
but
him
I'm still trying to figure out how you're getting to $620 here.
Then 200
Because the personal taxes were not done correctly, we're asking them to give back the money that we've already paid for our personal taxes.
Well, that's the 500, isn't it?
No, that's our
No.
corporate taxes. 500 for
That's another.
corporate,
You're right.
220 for our personal, or 220 or 250 for our personal taxes that they charged us.
Oh,
And
I
then-
see.
And then to have them redone, and have all of our taxes I now feel uncomfortable about and having relooked at.
All right.
Now the defendant is suing the plaintiff because she says she had to go out and get another accountant to fix the tax return. The judge will have to address 2 issues here. First, did the plaintiff do anything wrong? And if yes, does the plaintiff have a right to fix the tax return? Let's see what the judge says.
Let's deal with the $500 first. In order to prevail on that, in order to not pay the full bill, which is $500, because that's what's due and owing. If you paid the $500, the full bill would have been paid. Legally, you have to show that the accounting firm did something wrong. And there's different ways you can show that. They failed to do what they were supposed to do. They failed to prepare the taxes. They made a mistake with the taxes, which cost you some money. They didn't give you all the deductions that you should have received, even though they were given the information that they should have used in preparing the form, or things like that. In this instance, I don't really see what the accounting firm did that was wrong. Now, we have some issues here. We have this $1,975 in income that was reported incorrectly. And the accounting firm was aware of that. And apparently they did they handled it the way they thought they should have handled it. I see it on that profit and loss schedule where that $1,975 is reported. Now, you say you never got that. I don't know whether you got it or not, I guess.
And we
but
don't
I do
know if
see
they
it.
Put that in there after.
I guess we don't. But what we do know is that it didn't cost you any money in terms of an extra tax liability. That was not the case. So normally when you sue somebody because they didn't prepare a tax return incorrectly or they did something wrong, you have to show damages. You have to show that you were hurt financially in some way, in addition to showing that they did something wrong. So even if they did something wrong regarding that $1,975 in income, you weren't hurt financially by it. You don't have any damages because of that. You didn't incur an extra tax. There was no interest. There was no penalty that you had to pay, and the tax liability didn't go up. The problem was corrected. And even if they did something wrong, normally what you do is you go back to the person who prepared the taxes and you show them this notice and say, hey, I've got this here, what's going on, and if the firm is a reputable firm, they'll take care of it, and they're not going to charge you anything extra. You didn't do that. Again, because you lost faith and confidence in the person who did the tax returns or in the firm, and I understand why you might have done that. But from a legal standpoint, you have to do that. If you go and have another person prepare the returns, then you simply run the risk of paying whatever that person charges. I can't allow that $500 to go unpaid because there's no legal basis for it. The accounting firm did what they were supposed to do. They prepared the returns. Yes, one wasn't filed at the time you thought it would be filed, but you weren't hurt by it. There's no damages. So there is no claim here for the $500. Your counter-complaint is basically for fees that you paid another accountant. And once you do that, you proceed at your own risk. It's important to understand that when you have a relationship with an accountant or an accounting firm, it's an ongoing relationship. It's not something that you just go to, they do your taxes, and then you file it, and it's done. Problems always arise, as we're seeing here, and you have to maintain that relationship for a period of time. And if one side breaks off the relationship and goes somewhere else, that's okay, but they run the risk then of having to pay extra fees and not having the original accounting firm take care of the cost of that or take care of the problem without an additional cost. And that's what you did here. I just don't see where the accounting firm did anything wrong, or if they did do anything wrong, you weren't damaged financially by it. You didn't pay an extra tax, you didn't pay any interest or penalty, and you eventually got all refunds that you were entitled to get. So both the claim for $500 is awarded. I will enter a judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $500. I'll add to that costs consisting of a $45 filing fee, plus a $78 service fee, plus a $20 motion fee, bringing the total amount of the judgment to $643. The counterclaim is dismissed, and you can take back your exhibits.
The judge found the plaintiff did nothing wrong and that the defendant had no damages. Remember, you can always go somewhere else, but be careful. You may be taxed twice. Also, don't be so fast to fire someone. The law favors people who fix their problems. If you find that you are involved in a dispute that you cannot resolve, small claims court may be the answer. Thanks for watching Case Closed. I'm Charlie Langton.